Hi, I'm Colin, and this is the Action Figure Resource Video channel, the place for the action figure news, reviews, guides, and tutorials. Tonight I'm here to do a market analysis on the current state of the action figure market. What I'm going to be doing is taking a look through the last 2 years, 90 days, 30 days, and week of the market. We're going to be taking a look at average price sold, excluding post and packaging, price range, the average post cost, the number of items sold, the sell-through rate, the total number of sellers, and the total sales volume. If you have any questions, you can put them in the comment section and I'll answer them when I can. If you've got anything you would like me to review, you can add this into the comments also. If there's any problems with the sound and audio on this, please let me know also in the comments. Okay, so let's take a look at the overall first. Okay, so here we got an overall look of the action figure research tool on eBay. If you take a look at the top here, we can see the average price sold over the last 2 years has been $40.78. This price range, which is the lowest price to the highest price, is $0 up to $32,000. Average shipping fee is $15.41. 42% of sales offered free shipping. The total number of products sold was 12,290,597, with a total number of sellers 556,981, and total sales over the 2 years has been a massive 501,210,545 and 66 cents. If you look at the chart at the bottom, just clear this off. Okay, this is from 2020 to December the 18th, 2022. As we can see here, for most of 2022, prices were fairly level and took a big jump up around September, October of 2022 and have stayed level through most of 2022. Okay. One thing I'd like to quickly explain here is this sell-through rate here. The sell-through is not available for any charts over 90 days. So we'll be taking a look at the sell-through rate later on. The next chart we're going to look at is the total number of sales. Okay, so here we have the total number of sales over the same period, through from December 18th, 2020 to December 18th, 2022. Again, we can see that the total number sold was relatively stable throughout most of 2021, and it shot up around October, November of 2022, took a decline after Christmas and remained fairly constant throughout 2022, and over the last month or so sales have been increasing again. This is nothing too unusual, bearing in mind the COVID situation. I think this stark rise was around the time most countries started opening up after COVID. Okay. Now, the next one we're going to look at is the total average price sold over the number of sales. Now, this chart is quite interesting because we can compare the two. Let's go to a full screen. Okay, so on this one, we can see how the average price sold, so the line is the average price sold. Let's increase this up a bit. Okay, so again, this is over the 2-year period. And we can see that sales again from December 18th, 2020 through to around October, beginning of November of 2021 were fairly stable. And there was a steep rise around about mid-November of last year. Again, they declined after Christmas and remained fairly stable for the majority of 2023. Prices sold took a very similar route to total sales. Now, what I find very interesting in these charts is from about beginning of November of this year, total sales were rising, yet the prices sold were falling. Now, what I did notice, and we'll take a closer look at this later, is this over here. Now, in the 2-year chart, it doesn't look to be too much. But when we look at the 30-day, the 90-day, 30-day, and 1-week chart, you'll see this actually indicates a very large price increase on the average prices sold. But what also makes it quite interesting is at the same time, the number of total sales has been decreasing. Now, I've been trying to find out what has been going on here, and I think it's a case that there's been a few individual large sales, but we'll have a deeper look at that later on. Okay, so the next one we're going to look at is the average, the top sales by average price sold. So on this one, we can see, so again, this is over the 2-year period. You can see it's a top item. It's an Optimus Prime. This is an AFA graded 85 Optimus Prime, sealed in the box. And this sold for $32,000 in December 15, 2021. The second was a lot of Disney Pixar die-cast. This was a lot of 135 figures. Then we had some Medicom Bear Brick cores, Stormtrooper, a Darth Vader, Boba Fett, and they went for $26,000. The third one was a 1983 Hasbro G.I. Joe Snake Eyes, which was AFA graded 90, which sold for just under the $25,000. Next up was a lot of AFA graded 1995 Ewok. 1970 vintage Star Wars vinyl Cape Jawa AFA graded 85 sold for $21,000. A Yak Yak 90 plus for $21,000. A Star Wars vintage Myro Meccano Boba Fett for $20,000. And a vintage 1988 Playmates TMT Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Shredder 10-back card, hard-headed figure for just under $19,000. Okay, let's see if we can take a bit of a closer look at those. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll go live over to look at the eBay chart, and we can take a look at this live. All right, so we have the eBay research tool. Let's go here for top sold by price. Okay, here we are. So we've got the Optimus Prime, and you can see here, sealed in the box, AFA graded. Unfortunately, we can't take a look at the actual auction. But for the Disney ones, we can here. So here's the Disney ones. It looks like it's actually been relisted as well. So here we have the Medicom one. So we had Stormtrooper course, a Darth Vader course, and a Boba Fett course. And these went for $26,000, look, and $400 shipping. Wow. Okay. So that was the third highest. Here's the G.I. Joe one. So a 1983 Hasbro G.I. Joe Snake Eyes Explosion Back, AFR 90. Next, let's take a look at the top sales by volume. I can take a look here. So what we'll do, we'll go over here, total sold. Right, so we can see here the biggest selling item over the 2-year period was a Roblox virtual toy code. Unused. They sold for an average fixed price of $2.17 with a total of 6,252 sold, bringing in a whopping $13,000. I don't actually know what these are. Extra $20 off with code. Okay, so what was number 2 by volume? Space Marine Custom Warhammer 40K McFarlane's action figure. Average price of $14.20, $5 shipping, 4,925 sold, grossing just under $6,000. Let's take a look at this. Right, so here we go. War gear, 6-inch scale, 3D printed look. Also here we have Disney Doorables Series 1, vintage Star Wars replacement weapons and accessories. Fixed price $4.17. Suru 5 surprise toy minibands. Disney Doorables. This, by the way, is the action figure category. I noticed when I was looking through these, there's actually more categories available in the UK version. eBay UK has action figures, it has vintage toys, and it has action figures under all categories. So the next one we're going to take a look at, before I forget, let's switch over to here. So the sell-through rate, what is a sell-through rate? Because we'll be looking at this in a minute. Sell-through rate is typically defined as the total amount of inventory sold during a certain period, measured as a percentage of the amount of stock received from manufacturers in the same period. It's the total number of action figures sold given as a percentage of the total number of action figures listed. Anything above between 40 to 80% is considered good. Anything over 80% is excellent, and anything under 40% is something you should be concerned about. So when we look at the sell-through rate shortly, we want to be making sure that the figures we're looking at have a better percentage than 40% and should be closer to 80%. Okay, so the next charts we're going to look at are the 90-day charts. Right, so the first one we'll look at again here is the average sold price. If we look at the average prices sold here, we have $41.13, which is actually less. What was the previous one? So previously, on a 2-year one, average sold price. Okay, so on the 2-year one, we have an average selling price of 40.78. So it's actually slightly up. Oh, I don't know. We probably want this one, don't we? All right, so it's about $1.13 up on the 2-year average. The average shipping, $11.72. Free shipping, just over 40% again. Total number sold, just under 2 million, with a 17.52 sell-by rate. You see that here? Which is actually very poor overall. So there's a total of 194,649 sellers and a growth of 78,545,919 and 87 cents. So over the 90 days, the actual price sold, average sold price, has stayed fairly constant, consistent. I don't see anything of any concern there. I would have expected a steeper incline at this time here, especially with Christmas just being a week away. But we did see on the 2-year one, there had been an increase over, let's take it the 1-year one. So in the last year, not too different. Average selling price is up $3. Average shipping is down. Total number sold. Sell-through, we can't get a sell-through rate on that. All right. And if anything, there's been a slight decline over the last year. Here we have the total number sold out. Now this is the interesting part. We got quite a steep increase over about the last month. Otherwise, it's been fairly constant all year. If we look at the 2, now this is the part here. So we can see quite a steep decline there on the average selling price. So we had up here $43 and it went down to 38 here. However, the total number sold has gone from, for the same period, has actually gone up. The last week seems to have gone down a bit, but here, total sold 192,000 on December the 5th. And that's gone from a low down here of 133. So that's another 60,000 sold per day, per week. Okay, back to the 3-month one, 90 days. Okay, so over the last 90 days, we've seen the prices drop back down a bit. Sell-through rate 16.5%. Sales here. So the highest grossing sale, $30,000, and this was Pixar Disney die-cast lot. The Medicom Bear Bricks, okay, same. 1998 Playmates TMT Shredder. Okay, so these are three of the top sales over the last 2 years, and they've all come within the last 3 months. TMT Factory Case of Ooze, $13,000. I'm quite surprised at that one. I would have thought any ooze in there is probably dried up or evaporated by now. That seal case doesn't look very well sealed to me. It looks as though it's been opened up at some point from those images. Okay, what else we got? Lanky Box Giant. Well, there you go. Mystery box. No idea what that is. But there you go. 11,000. Homies figures, Toy Series 1 to 4, 76 pieces, $10,000. All right, here we go. Oh. Sorry, I was sharing the wrong screen. Okay. So really want to do this. Okay, the other thing we got here. All right. So next one up, Mario, Luigi, Donkey Kong, Super Mario Bros. Plush, rare Robloxian life clothing store billiard. Here we go. This looks more interesting. Original Canon 1978 Star Wars 12 back figures, mint on the card. $10,000. $12 back, complete set. Wow. 10,000. So here we go. I'm not a collector. These were purchased by my folks from DJ Toys in Huntington Beach when they came out as an investment for me. 9 of them are unpunched, 11 of them are on C card, and the Jawa is a B card. The Jawa has become separated from its card and the footer is missing. The weapon is still taped to the original bubble. They are not graded. Never felt the need because I knew where they came from and I knew where they were for the last 45 years. Due to tough times, it's time to pass them on. There's some minor damage to a few of the bubbles, but nothing major, and the cards are in great shape. Please feel free to ask me for more pics. So what have we got here? They actually look quite good. Shame the pictures aren't a bit better. 10,000 seems a good price for this. Okay, so what's next? Beyblades. An original venerable Sentinel Prime. Rare Mattel Street Sharks. Prototype. 10,000. Masters of the Universe He-Man 8-back first release. AFA graded 80. Masters of the Universe DC Bombshells Harlequin. Interesting. Star Wars Lily Leddy Boba Fett. Removable rocket. Filled peg hole. Interesting. Right. Well, it seems I'm going to be talking to myself. It's coming on to 2 a.m. here. I had to change the time due to being called into work tomorrow morning. So I thought I'd better do a stream as promised. I plan to make these monthly, so I hope to see you all again next month and we'll go through this in more detail. Okay, bye for now.